Hello, welcome. This is Chris Quiloe from Mexico, from Querétaro, Mexico. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Please share, subscribe, leave a comment, give a thumbs up. That's important. I'm probably going to be stopping, taking long pauses. I still cannot speak for longer periods of time. I'm recovering from supposedly the famous bug thing that is been going around for a certain time. I don't want to mention it because it could affect my views and I could get affected in the visibility of this video. This is pre-recorded. I normally stream on Sundays from 6 a.m. Central Standard Time to 8 a.m. Last Sunday I couldn't stream. I was feeling particularly tired. So I just didn't want to stream that much so early. I needed to sleep. So I had to be taking care of my dad as well. So for 1 hour and 15-20 minutes, what I thought is that I could be coloring this and just mentioning a little bit of my process. So when you see these, it's probably going to be Premiere. Going to try and set up YouTube to do that. Haven't been able to do much. I thought I was not going to be really affected because I didn't have any typical symptoms, But right now, what I feel is I'm a little bit tired. So that's why this is pre-recorded. I'm going to be with you in the chat as this airs on Sunday. And we can be just gossiping around. So I have this book by Hannah Karlzon. It's the only book that I have. And I like it. I quite like it. My setting is very, very close to my camera right now, so I cannot go and do a flip through. But I'll do that when I go back to lives. And I'll try to go back to, to showing you about the alebrijes and all the things that we have been showing in recent streams. I haven't been able to do anything related to my alebrijes, my half hybrid mixed creatures. The only thing that I did was, let me cover this one a little bit so you can see Mr. Cat here. He's got eyes, a little bit of pink there, but not been able to finish this up. I hope I can find the strength this week or next week to finish this up. And this is Mr. Ladybug. Just used a little bit of acrylic to have a very dark red here. And practically, that's it. That's what I've been doing. These crazy eyes, and that's it. So nothing much in the art department, because I have to give priority to my job. I just couldn't go to teach for 3 days last week, February. It was February the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th that I just couldn't go and teach. I was granted to give the sessions in Zoom, but you know how those sessions are, or at least in my case, those sessions when you're extremely tired, the only thing you can do is set a list of instructions, ask the students to work, and that's it. Nothing much. I'm going to try and put here something so I know I don't go more than that if I move my book so you can get to see what we do. We're going to have this cute owl. My sister is a fan of owls. I don't think I'll give her this one when I finish because I don't like to destroy the books. My coloring books are normally kept complete. Prefer them. And this book is normally colored with a mixture of water-based markers, sometimes fine liners, and this time I'm using this one. I think you can read on the screen what it is. Set of 36 colors. I think this set is like 2 years old, you know, so I think some colors might be a little bit dry, but let's see how it goes. I'm not sure what to tell you about, so we'll stick to the weather. You know, my language teachers at school, they normally told us, and some of them were British, they normally told us, if you don't know what to say, just stick to the weather. And later we just had a lot of fun because we analyzed some of the literature work by Jane Austen, and I still love a lot of her works. One of my favorite too, Sense and Sensibility, of course, and Pride and Prejudice. So I have read the books, seen the movie adaptations or TV series and things like that. So it's really, really cool. Okay, let me just switch off notifications here. And let me see. Let me just answer this one very quickly. My dad is snoozing upstairs. He's still a little bit irritated, but nothing serious for somebody who is close to be 87 years old in what? Let me see. 15 days, 14 days, more or less. He's a difficult patient because he's very stubborn. But anyway. Okay. Going back to the main topic that I was going to touch, weather, because that was the idea of bringing up Jane Austen. It's really hot. This week in Querétaro in Mexico, the temperatures just went up really crazy. We were having very early cold mornings, and right now we have got let me just tell you, this was yesterday and today. We were okay, I'm going to show it to you on the screen. We were close to 86 Fahrenheit midday yesterday and today. So it's really hot. I hope that the temperatures just don't go down again, because that's when you have viruses, you know. Your defenses go down and boom, they just activate. And people are a little bit reckless. They don't go and drink enough water or things like that. So we get a lot of sick students as well. Okay. I really don't have a plan for this owl. I'm just going to lay down some colors, shade a little bit, hoping that my internet connection just doesn't froze. I'm very close to my modem here, but I'm recording this midweek on Wednesday, March the 1st, and you're going to see this on March the 5th. And since yesterday, we have been in geomagnetic storms caused by the sun. And when that happens, we have internet failure, connection it breaks down, or things like that. So it's quite normal. I saw in the morning Didi having a lot of problems trying to stay connected. Even I couldn't even finish her stream because I had to go and get some fresh food, you know. I needed just to go out and drive a little bit and get some fresh food. And then when I returned, I saw that she only streamed for around 1 hour and a half, which is not typical of her. And she had a lot of connection problems. Then I was at Killian's streaming. She was learning to crochet, and it was really, really fun because Kim is a very good teacher. So thank you, Kim. I know how to crochet, but definitely I was very, very happy to follow the process, to see that I'm not that lost, despite the fact that I have not crocheted in like 2 years or 1 year. Let me think. 1 year, 1 year and a half, more or less. But the moment you take it again, you just know how to do things. And Kellyanne also had problems with her streaming. She was coming out or going out and then coming back, and it's because of this geomagnetic storm. And believe it or not, that's also affecting us. We get touched as well. Some people get very moody. The majority of the people just report that they are tired or they feel very exhausted, and that's it. So shouldn't be problematic. Okay. What I like about these books is that they're complicated, you know, and sometimes you need to make a decision on what to do or what not to do with certain areas that you want to color. But I really don't want to make a decision right now. I don't think I have brain fog. My dad does, and that is adding to his memory problems due to age. So that's why I say he's a difficult patient to control right now. He hasn't been able to exercise, and he's just driving me nuts because he wants to go and walk again. I don't know how many kilometers, but he's not ready for that. And the doctor told him he had to rest, take it easy and rest, because he was going to feel weak, probably with a little bit of sore muscles, things like that. It's a normal process of recovering. My sister and my brother-in-law were here helping, which is good. And My brother-in-law told me that he had been really, really exhausted when he got this thing, and that he just was sitting somewhere and he just snoozed, went to sleep, and it was really, really great. That has not happened to me yet. You know, I always have to add the yet thing. But well, I hope I get better in the next week. What I'm going to do with those little dots? I want to use this brown, but I think I'm going to use a bit of red here, having these little dots around. Okay. I just want to get better so fast. And I want the weather to continue this hot because I really want to go to the pool. I love swimming and I do want to go to the pool early morning. I'm going to have a new schedule for the second part of the term, and I won't be working on Wednesdays. So I'm going to have that day off, and I'm just so thrilled because the rest of the week is going to be really crazy. I'm going to be working, teaching 4 hours and a half, 3 days, which is tiring because I never sit down. I'm always walking around the classroom, monitoring the kids and trying to connect. And then on Wednesdays, I'm going to be having a day off midweek. So I'm going to be using that day for grading, of course, but also, if possible, to go to the pool and swim for an hour at least. That's going to be good summer training. Okay, let me see. I want to darken. I don't like going that dark here, you know. And normally Prismacolor is dark. So I'll just use this Pentel brown. I should have brought my gray markers, but well, anyway, we'll make do with these. The idea is not to think so much. It's just to relax and try to be here for at least 1 hour. I'm going to try and see if I can advance these without having to stop my transmission or something. So I have to see if that is fine. Sun is setting down, but it's windy. It's a really, really nice afternoon. I'm going to see, I'm going to let you know. Oh my God, this is still very hot. This is still very hot. Just check the temperature. We are in 82 Fahrenheit. So this is still hot. I also need to go and water some of the plants in my backyard. Poor little things. They're getting used to this desertic zone, but still. they need a little bit of help. None of my cats is here, and I'm just so close to the screen right now. I mean, this less than 30 centimeters what I have from my coloring book to the camera. I don't have my other setting. I wanted this one to be close. But I think it's looking good. Yeah, I think it's looking good. Yeah, light is fine. Oh, I could hear a nasty thing here, but there you go. I like the resolution of these cameras. All right. Anyway, I hope that you're having a nice morning, evening, afternoon, depending what time you're watching this. If you're watching the replay, you're very welcome to give it a like. If you're watching me live during the premiere here on YouTube, well, we're hanging out in the chat. I'll be in bed just watching. I'll not be listening to myself because I don't like it. But anyway, thanks to the people who say that I have a clear accent that is not really that bad. Definitely, my aim is not to sound neither British nor American, because that's not what I pretend to be. I'm bilingual, raised in Mexico, mother language Spanish, but I went to bilingual schools, so my schools were 100% English, except for math and, of course, Spanish language. And yeah, I believe that at a certain point, someone in one of the schools tried to give us classes in English, math in English, and it was just impossible. You have to do math in your mother language. So as the experiment didn't work, we were always divided in math classes, because I had classmates that were not just Mexican like me. I had classmates who were American, British, Canadian, German. So we had a lot of fun during the break hours. So, because the only common language we had was English. Even the the students who were here from Mexico, if we wanted to interact, make friends, whatever, we normally used English. So it was quite fun. Okay. I like how this guy is looking. Face is cute. And I'm coloring this one because I recently saw that Hannah is back. I'm so happy for her after that health scare she's got last year. And I don't have any other of her books because they're very pricey for Mexico. Everything is pricey for Mexico as everything is imported. Art material is very pricey. So I have to buy on a budget. I don't go crazy and have shopping hauls. That's something that I will not do. And I don't have space. My house is small. I have to use what I have right now. And if I don't know, if I need something, I really have to think about it and say, okay, let me see. Do I have a space to store that? Am I really going to use it? Or it's just because I was enabled by somebody, which is something that I would like to try and avoid. Okay, there we go. I like this combination. And I like how this little guy is looking. My hand is going to cross right in the middle. I'm sorry. Ooh, my doggy neighbor is barking. So, poor little dog. I don't know if he's still a puppy. I know it's a he, but he's so naughty. The other day, my neighbor was saying, "Oh, you bad dog! You ate my mop or something." So, doggy, it's really nasty. What am I going to do here? I'm going to go through this part and this part. Well, I'm going to use this dark brown here. I'm listening to some noise upstairs. If my dad comes downstairs, I'll have to mute myself for a little bit just to let him know that I'm recording. Okay. Just experimenting with these, and you can get to see that these markers are not new anymore, but you can still get interesting special effects with markers that are not necessarily that new. But I won't buy another set, not right now. Have another set somewhere with 50 markers or something like that. So I'll probably be using that one. Finish it up, and then after that, consider getting another one. Okay. It's gotta feel like steampunk, but it's still not steampunk. Here I have a bit of dark color here. Okay. I'm going to push this up a little bit. Finish the crown later. $30. That's good. If you have got comments about this process that you're watching, you're welcome to use the comment section. Ask about it, because coloring should be just something very relaxing, something that should not worry too much about making decisions. If you make a mistake, no problem. plenty of images here. Might not have the same image, but I also think that coloring exactly the same thing just because you made a mistake, it's not really that thrilling, you know. Try something new. Similar image. Planes are taking off. Back home. So those are the afternoon flights. I don't have the information here, but almost sure those are we have in the afternoon flights going back to, I think, Houston, Dallas, Chicago. I don't know the frequency of the Chicago flight. I know it's a Mexican airline, but Houston and Dallas are daily. Two flights daily. So we are really connected here, especially because this is the closest city to Mexico City, 2 hours north. 2 hours, 3 hours, it all depends because the highway is always being repaired and it has got a lot of traffic, a lot of lorries and cargo moved in those roads. So it's not a nice highway, you know. There's always traffic. And because of those things that are always being repaired, what normally should be a 2 hour trip, it turns sometimes to be 3 hours. But if there are accidents or something like that, well, that's even worse. And right now also the city of Querétaro, it's having major construction projects, which all those breaks are affecting the mobility in the city. So you could go 12 kilometers and take 1 hour. Traffic is getting insane because of those construction things that they're doing, improving roads and things like that. So I'm so happy that I don't have to go downtown Querétaro. Let me tell you, because I need to change this one so you can get to see it. I'm around 8 miles away from downtown Querétaro. Let's say 8 to 10 miles. And luckily, I can get everything that I need in my area. So I just have to drive around 6 miles to go to different shopping centers, including a Walmart and one HEB. Everything is there, so I really don't have to worry too much. My job is also very close to my house. I'm 10 minutes away from university. And that's why I don't need to go downtown. Because it's driving 8 to 10 miles to go and then to return those same 8 to 10 miles. And with the state of the roads and all the traffic and people driving, it's much better not to go there. I'm also in, not in the valley, Querétaro is in a valley. So I'm in kind of a hill far away from traffic and things like that. So I really like it. It's a cool area, but right now we're getting a lot of people, which is worrisome because Querétaro is not a state that is famous for having enough resources, and I'm talking about water. We have had a very, very dry winter, which is not good. We need rain, and I really hope we get rain soon. If not, we're going to have a very, very hard spring and summer with a lot of water problems. So because of that, we are a state that takes care of water. It's one of the most expensive resources you can pay here. Water is very expensive. And we don't trash it or waste it. We normally take care of water. Houses are not common to have grass or gardens that need to be watered. We tend also to be very careful with what else? With washing. At least where I am, the condominium or the cluster of houses where I am, we tend to be water savers. So we are very aware of the situation. Most of our backyards have desertic plants. So we have cacti, we have plants that are typical from the desert that don't need a lot of water. And most people have kind of barbecue grills. We have a lot of people from the north of Mexico, from the states of Sonora and Sinaloa. So they have a good tradition of grill, barbecue, and that's what we call in Spanish carne asada. So it's going to get very, very typical in the next weeks, that you are here at home relaxing during the weekend, and suddenly those delicious things start coming through the window, like, oh my god, somebody's using the grill. And you can get the beef and the onions and all those nice things. Sometimes neighbors invite each other, so we have some parties. And we cooperate with a dish or something, and there you go. And we just go there and have a nice time around the grill. Okay. So look at this. I'm standing up and checking how this looks during my stream. Okay. I'll try to finish this guy in what's supposed to be the normal time of my streaming. especially right now because I want to get a lot of light. For me right now, as I'm recording, it's 6 o'clock, and we still have light. Oh, my kitty's here. Kika is here. Yeah, Kika. She wants me to go and lay down. She's been used to that for the last week. But I cannot just do that. My back hurts if I'm in bed all the time. And I hate it. I really hate it. I prefer just to be going up and down the stairs or walking a little bit. Because then at night I won't be able to sleep. And I do want to sleep. One of the things that I think affected me the most during this recovery was the lack of sleep, because I was not only worried about my dad, but because part of the recovery took place over the weekend. So on a Saturday, Friday, Saturday, I don't remember, I couldn't sleep much because some neighbors were having a party, and it was not necessarily that loud, but I was so sensitive, I think, to the noise, on that I was able to listen to every single musical note, and it was just so annoying. And then I had another group of neighbors who are not normally here. They use the house as a vacation home or something, and they are building something inside. Well, they decided that 1 a.m. in the morning was a good time for them to get, I don't know what type of construction material, out of a car and just pounding the floor like bah, bah, with all this material. And I was just so upset. I just wanted to go out and yell at somebody, but I decided not to. But I really wished I could. I complained, and they're going to get notified, because making noise after certain hours inside this cluster of houses is penalized. So they're going to get a notification and say, come on guys, don't do that in the middle of the night, because you're bothering your neighbors. Okay, look at this. Oh, this one is looking so cute. Starting to think, what should I do with the eyes? I'm going to go back to the crown and then probably decide what to do with the eyes. Okay, another plane taking off. I don't know if my mic is sensitive that you can get to hear the sound of the plane. The other one was very loud. Oh, my other cat is here. So both Nico and Kika are here. I suppose they want to eat something, but they have already eaten. But well, they love this little treat before going back to sleep. But I'll have to wait a little bit. I don't want to interrupt this recording. I'm not really doing this with a lot of care. I'm just adding shadows, special effect, special effect shadow, and that's it. Not really doing this that much. I haven't even been able to continue with my deck game, the one of the creatures. I have them here, but I don't want to flip through that one either. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm going to push this a little bit up so you can get to see the leg. I'm going to color. The only thing that I don't like about hot weather is that you are really sweating all the time. And I do have fans here at home. I don't like air conditioning. Makes me sick. I'm allergic to whatever has got as components or something like that. But fans, yeah, I use them. I use them. My cats don't like them because of the noise. But we prefer to open the windows and let the air come in. Because as I told you, I'm kind of in a hill, not the highest one. Where the university is much higher and has got much more wind. But we got enough wind here to let the windows open and have fresh air coming all the way through. We have protections against mosquitoes because that's something that I really don't like about the weather just going so hot. Mosquitoes and flies kind of start coming. But with a good set of protections, no big deal. They don't really bother you. What else? Yeah, it's the season of certain nasty, creepy creatures that also come out. But luckily, as the construction sites are far away from my house right now, I hope I don't have unwelcome visitors. But anyway, I think that sometime this month, later April, I'll have to get again the guy who comes and sprays something against spiders and all those nasty insects could get inside. It's natural components, of course. So they don't affect us or my cats. And we normally do that once a year. Then March. It's a nice month. My favorite month is April because it's my birthday. Close to the end of the month. And normally in March is when I try and decide if I'm going to have Christmas, yeah, right, thinking about Christmas, a birthday present, or what am I doing to mark the date. So I'll let you know when I go back to live streaming. I didn't want to be away 15 days. 1 week was more than enough, I think. But yeah, we'll try to see if I will continue at 6 a.m. or start 30 minutes later, like 6:30 to 8 Central Time, until I feel recovered, till I feel strong enough to get up early and set up everything, because I don't want to make a mistake here, but I want to have kind of a dark outline here, and of course the pupil needs to be dark. Well, let's do this. Let's use the reliable Sharpie that supposedly will not bleed. Supposedly, let me just quickly check. Well, the paper is thick enough. Ooh, there's a spider behind. Don't like spiders. I know they are really necessary creatures, but you can keep them away from me. Okay. I think this is looking good. I don't want to white out any mistakes here. Okay, let me double check if this is looking good on screen. I suppose when I'm recording this on the stream yet, but private. So as soon as it's available on YouTube, I'll program the settings and everything for it to be premiered. Okay, there you go. This is so close to the camera right now that I feel a little bit insecure about moving the light too much, but I think it's okay. And I didn't bring a lot of things to this temporary studio. As I mentioned before, my studio is on the second floor on my bedroom, well, in my bedroom, because I have a lot of sunlight there. I have sunlight almost all day. Oops, I thought I was going to step on Kika, but no, she's not here. And I prefer working there. But for recording purposes, as the modem is here, I do need this one to be. Oh, let me adjust this a little bit. Okay. Moving this a bit, the camera a little bit. Okay. So I don't want to burn my table. It's too close to the wood. Okay, look at this. So cute. Almost 1 hour of transmission, and we have done a lot. Well, I have done a lot. Let me just double check really, really quick. Okay. No messages. Sometimes I communicate with Dad using WhatsApp. So I'm just waiting for him to tell me that everything is fine, that I don't have to cut my transmission. Oh, look at this. I like how it looks. So the wings. Let's see. Let's put all together here for the wings. And believe it or not, sometimes he prefers to answer using WhatsApp, which makes me laugh a lot. Okay. I suppose I would be able to finish this coloring. It's almost 1 hour transmission. Yeah, almost. And I want to be here coloring for 1 hour, 15 minutes more or less. So let's see what we can do with this wing. And I said I was not going to be that perfectionist this time, but I cannot help it. Sometimes I just start something, and even if I wanted to keep it casual, then I don't. Okay. So here you go. Going to be using the red again. So I like these little bits of red accent. Not choosing my colors in advance, you know. I normally just go and choose them as I feel. But if you're new to coloring, try to use a color wheel. Try to understand the relationship between the primary colors, the secondary colors, complementary colors, the analog, the ones that contrast. That's the best way to learn. Some people first learn color theory, and then they can break all the rules. And that's the correct way to do it. You learn the rules, and then you know how to bend some of them, and then how to break them. But first, learn the rules. Then color will become natural. And for some people, it becomes a specialty. going to mention just one typical example, that is the comic book industry. In comic books, you have at least 4 different specialists. And I'm talking about art. I'm not going to go into the person who writes the comic, but he's another artist. So after you have the story, the script, then you have these 4 artists that will help this comic book come to life. The first one is the penciler. So according to the script, he draws, he details. And then you have the ink artist. He or she is the one that produces these black lines and the textures, special effects, based on what the penciler created. Sometimes it's the same person, but not all the time. You can have a very good penciler and he's a very good drawing artist, but then the ink guy is the one who really creates magic there. Then you have the guy who creates the dialogues, the fonts and things like that. Now it's more automatic than anything, but it is also an art to put the dialogue exactly where the story goes, so it flows and it doesn't affect the drawing. So it is an art. And once the comic book is like this with the ink and everything, then you have the colorist, the expert in color. And that's another magic trick, because the use of color brings out the characters, the story, everything. So there are people who are just solely, entirely dedicated to coloring. And you have the traditional colorist, that in the past it was done like this, by hand. And now most of the coloring for comic, I think, is digital. And it's just amazing. So that's why I tell you that coloring per se is skilled job that requires knowing color theory and all things that go along, like color psychology, emotions of color, temperature of color, everything needs to be studied and practiced. And it's a skill job, as I mentioned. I don't know exactly if it's very well paid or not right now in the industry, but definitely good colorist with a good penciler, a good inker, and you have a work of art. I don't collect comic books that much. Unfortunately, the box that had my magazines and some of my comic books got lost in the moving to Querétaro 4 years ago. So I was not able to recover that. There were not so many comics, fortunately, in that box. I have a few. And eventually I'll flip through the ones that I have here so I can go and tell you a little bit more about color theory and things like that. Okay, how's my timing? 1 hour, a little bit over than an hour. Good, I have like 10 minutes left of this transmission. I'm happy my internet is not playing right now fast games like it normally does. And as I mentioned before, hopefully I'll be able to come back to a normal streaming. There are plans also to stream with Miriam. She's normally after me on Sundays. So I'll still need more days to organize Miriam. I'm closing my first course during this term. So right now it's getting a lot of final exams and projects. Actually, today I got a final writing exam, but I decided that I will not evaluate that until Saturday. So by the time you're watching this, that will be already evaluated. But right now is Wednesday, so I won't work. Tomorrow, Thursday, March the 2nd, I have 2 more exams that will also be evaluated over the weekend. And to be honest, I have until March the 10th to report that grade, so I'm not in a hurry. I'm going to take it easy and really take my recovery to a serious stage. I have also to do some checking on my online workbook, but that will also be done around March 12th. And some students have already been reporting me that they are done with their online projects there. So as they tell me, then I go and say, oh, okay, is this a student? So I can go and report. Okay. All right, look at this. It's looking cute. Probably going to use a dark brown for those little details, the feathers. Red dots, definitely. Red dots here. More yellow dots as well. I'm trying to see. I won't finish. I have like 5 to 6 minutes left. And I also don't want to abuse from my strength right now. After this recording, I'm going to go and have some tea, rest, check on my dad, see he's okay. This is the first time I'm arting since last Wednesday. That's February 22nd when all this ordeal started. And as I told you, I never imagined I was going to feel tired. And I really wanted to paint or do something, but I was just so tired. And I had to evaluate over productions. It took me ages to do that, just to find the strength to open the assignment and watch 1 or 2 minutes per student. Doesn't sound much, but when you have 80 something students and you have for each video, then you're talking about a lot of minutes to watch. So that was not fun. This Prismacolor Junior or Scholar, there used to be the Scholar. They're good for coloring books. The Premieres are good for real art, for commissions. And they're very fragile, so that's why I haven't bought any Premieres for a long time. If I'm going to be using coloring books, these colors just make it do. They are good. Okay. Look at that. Quite nice. What do I have here that I can do in my last minutes? I think I'm going to be abusing from this red color. These kind of beads, I don't know what they are. Yeah. Go and see if this is the brown. Yeah. Should not put them back in the box until I've done with them, because later it's like, oh, which color was it? The one that I was using. And when that happens, I suffer a little bit. So a friend gave me a tip a long time ago that I'll probably use here as well. When coloring, put all the material that you're using together and take a photo. So if you need to stop by any reason and you cannot continue in the next days, then when you have the time, you open your photo gallery, you see which is the material, colors, felt pens, markers, whatever you're using, and yeah, I'm going to put everything, I'm going to leave the spaces here. And then you're able to get to see exactly which shade, color, material you're using. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing, because I won't be able to finish these little feathers. Okay. I wish I could have done a little bit longer than 1 hour and 30 minutes, guys. But literally, I'm getting tired. So my back is hurting right now a little bit. And I do need to stand up and stretch a little bit. But most of the owl is practically done. It's just adding some bits of shadows here at the back. Okay. My streams normally go for 1 hour and 45 minutes, more or less. But as I mentioned before, this is substitution. It'll be premiered, so you'll be able to see it like if it was alive, but it is not. So the chat will be going on. I don't know if it's going to be recorded because it's a little bit different system here of what I have now. But check it out. Check it out. We're almost there. So I like it. I really like it. So what I'm missing to do is this bit of the eyes. I'll probably keep white and blue. I'm not so sure yet what I'm going to be doing here. The wing, of course, these little bits that are missing, and of course the feathers and the tail feathers. Don't forget about that. They go all the way down here. So I'll use a red and the things here. It's kind of diamond or quartz. I don't know what they are, but quite interesting, quite good. So I'm going to start packing this up and thanking you for joining me. Remember that I would like you to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share this video. Make a comment, like it. Of course, give me a big thumbs up. Thank you for coming. So this was Chris Kilue from Mexico, from Querétaro, Mexico is the pronunciation. So we're going to say goodbye with my hybrid creatures here that hopefully will come back later on in a live stream to be finished, painted live. Okay, so thank you very much. See you. Take care.